In this lecture, I want to quickly mention a problem. Currently, I'm viewing the documentation page for the user's endpoint. The core of WordPress offers an endpoint for creating a user. Naturally, we may assume that this endpoint should be used for registering a user. Not so fast. Things are not as they seem. Let me give a demonstration. In another tab, I have our site opened. I'm logged out of the application. You do not need to follow along with me. It's perfectly fine to just watch. Inside the developer tools, I'm going to open the console panel. Next, I'm going to paste in a fat chunk of code. The code I've written will send a request with JavaScript. If this doesn't make sense, don't worry. We are going to be writing this code in a future lecture. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to show you what would happen if we executed a request. The function I've written will send a request to the user's endpoint. It'll ask WordPress to create a user. After a while, an error will be thrown by the request. To understand why, let's switch over to the network panel. The network panel is capable of tracking HTTP requests with JavaScript. We can filter the requests by clicking on the XHR option. If we look at the list of requests, the user's request will appear in the list. As you can see, it's highlighted in red. This coloring indicates that the request failed. We can click on the request to view additional details. The error can be found under the Response tab. As you can see, WordPress will send a JSON object with details of the error. According to the error, we don't have proper permissions to create a user. Sounds strange, right? However, the user's endpoint was introduced for administrators. We must be logged in as an admin to create users. Otherwise, the request will fail. In addition, we must send a token for authorizing this action. This endpoint is not meant for anonymous users to create accounts. Therefore, we must create a custom endpoint. Our custom endpoint will allow anonymous users to create accounts. In the next lecture, let's create a custom endpoint.